Now, this doesn't just go for 9 to 5 jobs, but anytime anybody's had a restaurant job or anything of the sorts, you're going to be exposed to the lowest common denominators of society. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, you're going to be exposed to the lowest lives of the lowest lives, okay? You're going to be exposed to the snakes, and they're hiding in the grass, right? And what I've noticed about these kinds of people, which is so fascinating, is how important some of these people really believe they are. And it's not to say that they're not valued as human beings. It's not to say that they don't have something to contribute. I think everybody in the world has something unique to contribute to the world in some way, shape, or form if they really understand who they are and what they're about. But also, I think a lot of these people get off on thinking that they're very important. I remember one of my first days at a new job about a couple years ago, just under a couple of years ago, and it was a very fast pace. It was very fast paced, and it's not a place that I'm at now, but it was a very fast paced job, and everybody seemed like it was just like go 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 all the time. You know, we don't take any BS around here. We're no beat around the bush. We are for real. We're gonna get out there and make it happen. And you know, at the time I was like, wow, this is great. Like, people that actually take their life and their job seriously, this is great, this is awesome. But then, you know, after a few months, I began to realize that that was all a show. It was all a show. And I learned that there's gonna be one of 3 ways that you're going to be able to really make it happen in a corporate job or a career. Number 1 is to stick your head down and just do your work. You're probably not going to get promoted. You're probably not going to at least get promoted as fast, but you know, they can rely on you to get the job done, and people are going to be trustworthy of you. They can rely on you. Then you've got number 2, which is you can suck up to whatever supervisor you need to. And I saw this time and time and time and time again. There was a feminist that I was working with, and she was very good at sweet talking the boss, but she was also good at making it seem like she's a victim of everything. And because the boss at the time happened to be a woman, it was almost like the women were banding together to keep the women alive, right? We all understand how hard it is to be a woman in this career world. You know, it's a man's world, but the women rule, right? That kind of shit. Thinking back to it just makes my blood boil in some ways, because it's just like, man, these people were just so fake, like just so beyond fake. But anyways, so, you know, they're talking about how difficult it is to be working and such, and you know, I'm thinking to myself, like, what kind of person does it take to be in this position? Because this is a woman that has gone to a relatively, not necessarily an elite school, but a top school in her state that she was working, or that she was from, and now she's working at a pretty reputable company. Like, the company that I was working with was fairly reputable, and they were fairly well known across a certain industry. And you know, it took a lot of work to get there. Like, it took a lot of work. So I mean, even for myself as a white man, right? Like, it took a lot of work to get there. And in some ways, I think that as a white man nowadays, it's almost like people think that there's this certain stigma that's supposed to be about you. Okay? And I'll get more into that. But then you have number 3, which is you go above and beyond, you work yourself. Like, maybe you're sticking your head down and you're sucking up to the boss. These are going to be the 3 ways that you get promoted or get to a certain point beyond that starting point of where you're accepted into the career path that you're on, right? The company that you're with. And all of these, the only people, like the suck up, number 2, a suck up doesn't really care as much about the career as they want to make it seem. But they are going to be willing to do anything and everything to get that promotion over you, even if they don't deserve it or they're not qualified. They have a better relationship with the boss, so they're going to be, doing certain things to just weasel their way in. Even if you're outperforming and you're over, like you are going above and beyond, you're way overqualified for the promotion already. Like you should have had that promotion months ago. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to some of these people. And if you're going to do option number one, well, it's almost like you're accepting the bare minimum, even though you're probably going to be the hardest worker and the most reliable person there. Number three is going to be the path I would recommend to you if you're going to try to get to a certain point with a company. Now that's if you want to actually pursue a company. That's actually if you want to be in the corporate position, the corporate world. But you almost have to operate under the assumption that everybody that you meet in the business is a liar and is a conniver and is a backstabber in order for you to succeed. And it sucks to have to treat people like that and to treat yourself like internally, because this is what's so crazy. It's like they know, like everybody knows that they're trying to fuck each other over, but you still have to smile your way through it. Everybody knows that they're trying to one up everybody else, but you're all still best friends, right? Like, that's what was so weird about it for me. I was like, you guys are like evil. How am I supposed to be like not all of them, of course, not all of them. I had some really great people that I've worked with, but for the majority of the people that I did, it was like, these people are ruthless, man, and you've got to be as ruthless. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck and you're going to get thrown to the side. And even if you are creative, even if you have great ideas, even if you really do go above and beyond, like I said this once before in a video a while back, it's like I always paid for that. I never got paid to go above and beyond. I always had to pay for it. And I learned from that experience. I learned from those experiences, and I was like, you know what? Like, why am I gonna be working at some corporate job if I can just work for myself? Like, I know if I can get the skills that I need from these corporate jobs or wherever I need to go to get the skills that I need, and then create a business where I can work for myself and actually help people, because these people don't want to help you. They don't want to help anybody. They want their bottom line is the dollar, right? And I had people that there were literally other people in the company that I was working at. There were other parts of the company. So there's like certain what would you say, like spaces in the company. So somebody's like, for example, if I'm in a marketing company, there's going to be like a content writing space, or a content writing team, or there's going to be like a graphic design team or a video editing team or whatever. So we're going to keep going. There's some alarms back there, but we're just going to keep this video rolling on. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but anyway, so you're thinking to yourself, okay, you're looking out at the teams, and there's this one team that keeps losing people. You don't really know why. You don't really know what it is about this team that keeps losing people, but it's like they hire an intern and then they don't. They hire an intern and then they don't. Like, they release the intern, they don't get hired on, and after a few months of this continuation, you're like, what is happening? You start to realize, oh, they're just not wanting to pay somebody to come in. They want somebody to literally work for free just to like, and this wasn't at like the specific company that I referenced just briefly earlier, but this has happened before. I've seen this at other companies. And I'm somebody that, as far as my expertise, I've worked with over 200, 250 companies in the United States at this point. And with consultations and everybody that I've done through my actual business with Regal Change, I've done probably 200 plus consultations at this point with people all around the world from over 20 different countries by now. So I've seen a lot of different things, and I've heard a lot of different stories about certain people and certain things and areas. And it's just so baffling to see what some of these people will do in the corporate jobs or just in companies in general, just to save $1. And then you see other parts of the team where you see another team, and they're training these people in Pakistan for their position. Meanwhile, the team leader is telling these people, you don't have to worry about losing your job. We're just using these Pakistanis as a backup. That way, like, if anybody's out, then they'll be able to take over for the day that you're out or whatever. Because we were short on staff at that point for that team. 2 months later, that team is all Pakistanis. Everybody else lost their job. And I saw the writing on the wall, so I knew that, okay, well, I need to get a new job, because it's only a matter of time before this starts to shift. And that's exactly what happened. And that's exactly what turned out to be the case. And not exactly that. There were some other things that happened in between, and I won't go into those details. But the point is this is what companies will do to save $1. Because why would somebody pay somebody $30 an hour to do graphic design or whatever, when they can just hire somebody in Pakistan for $10 an hour? The people in Pakistan feel like they're living like kings and queens, and then you've got the people in the United States that now can't find work because it's all being outsourced. This is what's so terrible with America too. I love America, I really do. I love it as an ideal, because I do think it's more of an ideal than it is a country at this point. But the thing that really gets people, like, and I think capitalism is good. I think capitalism is okay, but I think the way that it's going about and it's seeped into the government at this point, it's so bizarre and beyond what I think capitalism ought to be. Because at this point, it's not capitalism anymore. It's like monopoly only. It's like, if you don't have a monopoly, you can't exist. And they're going to try to do everything they can to make it seem like you don't, which is crazy. And I've literally seen, now, I don't know if you guys know about this, but like Google Ads, for example. Now, I have some experience with doing Google Ads, and if somebody's bidding higher than you, okay, let's say you're doing an ad for like home reconstruction or whatever, and you place a bid for that day of like $5 a day, you're going to try to get your ad at the top when people look up home reconstruction or whatever. If somebody else bets and bids higher than you, not only are you going to be spending that money, the likelihood of you actually getting listed first, it's null and void. So even if you're spending that money, there's no guarantee that you're actually going to be showing up first. And, you know, part of it is understandable, but at the same time, like, this just goes to show that sometimes it's just the people who have the most money can win. And it takes money to make money, for sure. But this is why you have to learn how to make your money work for you. Learn how to automate your income. If you can make, and I'm not saying get a passive income. I don't necessarily believe in passive incomes at this point. I don't know, maybe somebody else can convince me otherwise. But I think what the term that we ought to be looking at, if we were to look at what's the right term? It's the study of language. Is it epidemiology? Epidemiology? Anyway, somebody can help me out with that. The study of language, if we look at the study of language and look at the word automate, then we're going to see that that's going to be a more productive word rather than passive income. Because a passive income means that you're not asserting yourself into the world. You're just passively wanting things to happen for you. And it's like, well, you can do that, and the universe does work like that. You know, obviously things are happening for us and not to us, but if you let things happen passively, you're not asserting yourself. So if you automate your income, you're asserting yourself. And this is what I'm striving to do. This is what I encourage everybody else to strive to do. And this is just really, I mean, you don't have to be like me. I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm just saying that learning how to automate your income is going to be the best way. However you need to do that, do it. There you go. But anyways, this is just a few little stories and details about what happens inside the career path and the career world. And this is what happens. You're going to meet the low lives. You're going to meet the snakes. You're going to meet the low people of the world and the society that we live in. And you got to just deal with it. You've got to learn how to maneuver. Like Jesus said, be as wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. Don't concern yourself with the demons. Don't concern yourself with the demons, man, because they're going to do what they're going to do. And you don't want to put yourself in harm's way just because somebody else is toxic, okay? Just stay clear of that. And if you, I mean, I recommend everybody to try to do their own thing. Like, get your own business going, learn those skills, whatever you need to do, and take it and run with it, because these companies don't give a shit about you. They just don't. They just don't. So with that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. And to end really on a positive note, I want to thank everybody that's been moving over from YouTube to X and moving over to that platform, because I'm going to be doing a lot more kind of content that is not necessarily related to this kind of content, but going to be more in depth and more behind the scenes and going down the rabbit hole of society and looking more deeply at that. And of course, I'm still going to be on YouTube here. Of course, I'm still going to be posting these kinds of videos on X as well, but I'm going to be doing some videos that are exclusively on X. And if you want to find those, I'll be posting my X link either in the description box below or on my community page here on the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to check that out and see those videos. And I'll post the videos that I have on X exclusively on the YouTube community posts there. If you're interested in joining the Regal Change Academy, the free Discord where you get some free resources and a godly community available, you can check that out in the description box below as well. If you want to join the paid school community for Regal Change Academy, that's also available. And we're going to have weekly group calls there, and we're going to have a bunch of different kinds of resources available. And if you're actually starting your business right now, we just came out with a new AI course where we'll have hands-on learning available and videos available for you to watch to see how to use these AI tools to really scale your business and to scale everything going on, just to get more insight into graphic design, content, video editing, everything that you need. So that's going to be available too for you. And with that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. And until next time, peace be with you.